What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Mundungus, Cameron, and Gage versus the old guys in wheelchairs. I'm just kidding. The 5280 podcast on the MHRT network. I am your host, as always, Mundungus Creevy, alongside my co-host Cameron Parker Pooh and Gage Madrid NFL. And we are joined by the crew of Broncos Buzz, Bronco Bill, and Kona Spence, because Glenn decided that the Broncos just weren't that important. And so he's not on the show tonight because he's a bum.
So basically you're saying it takes two of us to replace Glenn?
Sure. Well, I almost wasn't here, so.
True.
No comment on that one.
Well, you know, there's only
absolute booty cheeks.
There's only so much bald that we can have on the show.
Hey, wait a minute.
Listen here, Chia Pet. You calm down.
And, you know, so to have, you know, a bald head like Bill, we can't have Glenn on the show. So,
well,
there we go.
Logic.
And I got too much hair.
Yeah, it looks good.
Mine's just on my face.
It looks good. Hey, Gage, I got a question for you.
No, before you ask questions, hold on. This is my show. Calm it down. I want Stidham to start, Bill. Hold on a second.
No, I do not want.
I want to welcome everybody on the Broncos Buzz YouTube channel. We are also streaming on there tonight because we have the Broncos Buzz guys joining us. If you have not subscribed to the MHRT network, please do. Vice versa. If you have not subscribed to Broncos Buzz, please do. We have lots of shows Tuesday, Wednesday. Hold on, I'm trying to remember the lineup now. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the neighborhood. We got mainly Broncos on Wednesday. You got Gage Madrid hosting Broncos Syndicate, which is exploding on YouTube right now. So make sure you check that out as well. Okay, Bill, go ahead and ask your stupid question. You probably don't even remember, do you?
Yes, yeah, I do. Gage,
yeah.
Have you ever cut your hair?
Short? I haven't had short hair since the age of 7.
Wow.
So no.
Okay. All right. Good.
Heading to the casino.
I just had to ask.
Place a bet for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, put $20 on double sixes for me at the craps table.
Yeah, you pay me out my winnings, but I'm not going to give you anything if you lose. I'm just throwing that out there just so everybody knows. All right, so we had a Denver Broncos football game on Saturday. It was the Denver Broncos versus the San Francisco 49ers. We obviously came out with a 30-9 decision. Let's call it a butt kicking over the 49ers. But the big question that needs to be asked and answered and talked about, because there's people all over Twitter and Facebook and YouTube talking about how the first team offense and the first team defense looked. Specifically, I had to talk Bill off of a ledge because he wanted to start.
I did not say I want
over Bo Nix to start the season. So
don't listen to the guy on my far left over here.
Yeah, this old guy with the Avalanche hat when Avs aren't playing and the Broncos are. But you know, whatever.
I'm talking about the guy in the Broncos hat.
Where?
Don't see him.
So I wanted to pose to you guys, when you look at the Broncos starting offense for that doesn't help.
That doesn't help.
For the Broncos versus 49ers, you had Bo Nix, and I'd say the majority of the starting offense out there for about 2 series, and it did not look crisp.
Oh,
yeah.
I was gonna say let's have the guests of the show go first.
Yeah. So the key here is when I stop talking, go ahead and start.
All right, okay. I'll start. I'll say this. This was not a dress rehearsal. This was a pregame to a pregame to a pregame of a dress rehearsal. Essentially this. They wanted to get guys into NFL speed rhythm. Harvey got a lot of handoffs, got a lot of running plays, did well, showed some great speed. The offensive line was doing their matchups. They did great. The playbook was probably only 10% of what it was. So this wasn't really, let's show off all of our tools and all of our necessities. Let's see what we can do. On defense, yeah, we gave up 2 big pass plays. Yeah, that stuff can be worked out. The concern I had was for our punting game. In that first half, I saw a punter who supposedly had all the accolades, couldn't get the ball barely inside the 20-yard line and had punts of like 33, 35. If I'm paying this punter these accolades, I want to see that ball consistently inside the 10, around the 5. And if it bounces at the 4-yard line and goes in the end zone, fine. But let's fine tune that. And he's getting up to speed. So not too worried about it. Hey, we gave up only 203 total yards of offense the entire game after that 71-yard drive to lead with. So all in all, we're just getting accustomed to NFL speed. So I'm not worried about it. Let all the people who want to create drama on the internet talk their way through it. Good warm-up game, good getting acclimated to NFL speed.
Let me say one thing. I did not say I want Stidham to start.
Absolute booty cheeks.
You changed that, and somehow I can't change it back. That being said, I only said during the game that the way Bo Nix played in the first series looked like a rookie. This is a second year. I don't want a sophomore jinx. He did not look solid. Granted, I mean, come on. You can't throw the ball past the first down line in the end zone. Yes, off his back foot, whatever. But still, bottom line is he did not look good. Stidham looked good. The only thing I'm saying is if Bo Nix plays like this in the season, you cannot keep him as a starting quarterback.
You know what's crazy? That doesn't matter. Sean Payton's actually not pulling. Like
I know he's not going to pull him.
I'm just saying the ideas that you're coming up with in the sense of possibly
spouting out. Go ahead. You can say
just spouting off of like wanting to replace Bo Nix with Stidham.
I'm not.
Go have that conversation with Sean Payton and tell me that that he's actually going to feel the same way. He's not. He's not.
It's okay, Bill. I changed your name. It's fine.
Oh God.
And just for the record show.
Yeah.
Jordan Love was 105 in preseason. And where's the crap about him, huh? I mean,
he sucks.
So I'm just saying, like, it's preseason. People need to literally calm down.
Can I say one thing?
No.
Everybody was saying that Bo Nix looked fantastic in scrimmage and fantastic in the practices. And then the game, he looks that bad. That's all I'm saying. Why?
I mean, there's a lot of
thank you guys.
There is a lot of levels to it. There is a lot of levels to it.
Well, sorry, I was gonna say maybe it's just me, right? Like, obviously we know that there was only a little bit of the playbook being shown. They don't really run the regular offense because they don't want to show the plays that they have so the teams are ready for it. But I thought the offensive line actually struggled a little bit. I thought we got more out of the defensive line of the 49ers than we thought we were going to get.
Yeah, and I think that this is probably something that Gage noticed too, but it's just like there's just a lot of levels to it, and this is like there's a lot
Who is me?
You
so like
this guy.
With just overall like there's just no love lost when it comes to Kyle Shanahan and Vance Joseph. Surprisingly, Vance Joseph called a bit of a vanilla game plan. Mm-hmm. And on the other side, Robert Saleh, who Sean Payton has actually spoke not so glowingly about, through the kitchen sink at Bo. So, and I think that, when you look at the overall situation, I don't think the team kind of expected that, which is a bit surprising. But I just think that, that goes to show you just how, Bo reacted and everything else. So I just think that overall people really need to calm their tits and literally just like settle down and relax, because it is literally preseason, and like it needs to be something where if we're having this issue like post week 5, then we have a big conversation on our hands. Because specifically when, Sean Payton talked about it today with Kay Adams, that the Broncos want to start fast. So I am not worried at all about, Bo Nix, this offense, with where things are going. Sean Payton is not worried. If Sean Payton is not worried, I'm not worried.
Yeah. No,
how about Nick Benito?
Hold on. I'm going to have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure that is the first time on this show anybody has said, calm your tits. I'm pretty sure that's the first time.
I might have dropped it once. I can't remember.
No.
But how about Nick?
It doesn't matter because we have this little beauty right here.
Absolute booty cheeks.
Yes, that one will always live in infamy.
How about Nick Benito? Was that guy out of his mind and he doesn't have a contract?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you got to sign this guy. I mean, hey, Gage, what do you think? When do you think he's going to get signed?
I think he's waiting until Micah Parsons gets paid because it feels like Micah is going to reset the edge rush market again, and that means $4 or $5 more million for him. So I'd hold out and wait for that if I'm him, and it sounds like his agent is encouraging him to do so. But pivoting the conversation back to Bo Nix in that game for a second, there were some positive plays that I charted. I mean, he had a really good throw on an RPO sit to Franklin. He had that really nice fade down the sideline to Sutton that Sutton bobbled and just couldn't haul in.
And 100%.
Yeah. And then he had a fourth down in breaker to Troy Franklin. First of all, Franklin, we'll talk about him a little bit later. I don't know if he makes that catch in year one, but that was a good job by Bo standing in the pocket and driving that throw over the middle with good velocity. Did put it a little bit high, but I think that was intentional. So there were some positive things, but the safety play, first of all, the protection kind of looked like it was off on that one.
It's been off all night.
One habit that I do want Bo to clean up is turning his back to a free rusher. Anytime you turn around and have your back to a free rusher, you are cooked. So that's something he needs to work on. Getting the ball back to the line of scrimmage, whatever. That's something you can clean up easy. But the protection issues and Bo turning his back, something that needs to get cleaned up. And he did short-arm 2 passes. He short-armed that one to Sutton in the end zone, and then he short-armed that, I believe it was a deep over route to Franklin. So overall, it wasn't a terrible day from Bo. I think the local hot take artists will say that Bo needs to be benched or all the crap that certain outlets I won't name will spew, but
right here.
Not me, Mike.
This guy right here.
Not me.
That guy.
I'm going to be nice to Bill today. This is not Bill.
Not.
There are plenty of other local hot take artists, James Merrillat, that definitely.
Hey, I'll say this: if it's a regular season game, Bo finds a way to spin out of that. It's the preseason; he just saw it coming. He's like, you know what? Let's just get out of here and not risk anything.
Well, I mean, we saw instances where he started slow and finished, like the Indianapolis Colts game, right? Like he did not have his best stuff in the Colts game, but in the second half, he turned things around, and the whole team as a whole became a little bit more of a complete performance, which I think is a nice little parallel to what we did see just as a team overall with what in that 49ers game, because the 49ers started out scoring, and then the Broncos had 30 unanswered. And I think that probably like the biggest takeaway of it all, and I have to shout out my co-host on this, Jordan, because he made this point, and it's a pretty astute comment just overall in the sense just as far as the team, and that is when you score 30 points in a preseason, that is a testament to as far as how much depth you have on this team. And then that is one thing I will say, that this depth of the team is so much better than it was a year ago. And I think that the real reasons why they would be putting up like 20 or so in a game is just simply because of the coaching. Now you're starting to see the coaching mixed a little bit in with the depth of this team, like that wide receiver room, like the defensive side of the ball. And so I just think that, where you actually kind of saw a little bit more chemistry was where you would expect chemistry. And that is like Jarrett Stidham, who spent his entire time with the 2s and the 3s. So I just think that we shouldn't necessarily be even surprised, to say the least, that there was a little bit more chemistry, knowing the fact that a quarterback who had spent his entire offseason, if you will, with those second and third stringers for him to be that kind of chemistry. So again, I'm not worried, but I think that the biggest takeaway of it all really is just about the overall depth of this team.
Well, and this might be a little early to say, and I might get in trouble for saying it, but I'm going to say it anyways. I think that after Bo Nix went out and Jarrett Stidham came in, I think he proved that he is the best backup in the NFL.
I said that to you, Mike.
No, you didn't. I claim nothing.
Frankly,
you said you want to sit him to start, so I stopped listening after that.
You want him to start now, Bill. Come on.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I think Jarrett Stidham.
If Nix does what he did.
I think Jarrett Stidham proved that he is the best backup in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Well, I was going to say, if we are talking overreactionary, if there's a bit of an overreactionary smart take regarding this quarterback room, it's that, I don't know, if I'm Sean Payton, I'm doing a solid and I'm talking to the New Orleans Saints and I'm saying, hey, we have this guy, Jarrett Stidham, who is balling out, and really red hot right now. Would you guys kick the tires and trade for Jarrett Stidham? That's the only overreaction.
Who would you want for New Orleans from New Orleans?
You're not getting anything.
Draft pick or something.
You're not getting anything.
Spencer Rattler just as like a throw-in.
Oh
no, I don't want Spencer Rattler here.
And
I get he sucks, but if there's anybody that can make him half competent, it's Sean Payton. He made Zach Wilson look half competent.
This is going to be a little different. And I'm going to get away from the Broncos just for a second.
No.
And the reason why I say that is because I think that there is a possibility that the Browns end up trading Shedeur to the Saints. And the only reason I say that is because you have Joe Flacco, who's obviously the starter. You have Dylan Gabriel that you did a third-round pick on. You're not going to let him go. You want to have a veteran quarterback behind your starting quarterback. So that kind of leaves one of their quarterbacks out in La La Land. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it'll happen. I'm not saying that he doesn't get the backup role. I'm just saying if you're trying to compare the four, I think the quarterback that has the most opportunity to go to the Saints would be Sanders.
Go ahead.
It's good business strategy. I mean, the Broncos, I'm trying to remember the guy who was I loved him as a quarterback. He had an incredible preseason game against Arizona, and then the very next day he was traded to Minnesota. And
Kyle Sloter.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Loved him.
He's kind of a douche canoe out of the NFL, though.
Slaughterhouse 5.
That out there.
Yeah. Kyle Sloter. Yeah, thank you. I thought he was going to be the Broncos' backup quarterback. Now, this is probably what teams do is any trade bait or any kind of commodity they're trying to get rid of, have them do everything they can to play as much as they can game 1, game 2. Show them off. Show him what he can do so you can get trade bait to get other commodities possibly. So that could be what the Cleveland Browns are trying to do.
Let me ask you this. You think Cleveland would draft a Sanders and then ship him off in the very same year?
Yes.
I mean,
wow.
I have a little context behind the whole move in general. So Stefanski and the coaching staff, they did not want Shedeur Sanders.
However,
then why did they take him?
Because whenever he fell to them, Jimmy Haslam came in and he was like, we're drafting this guy. I don't give a shit what you say. We're taking him.
Oh, I thought it was the GM that did that.
Ownership move all the way.
I thought it was the GM that did that and the owner didn't want him.
That's what Haslam said.
Is that the owner didn't want him, the coaching didn't want him, but the GM
Haslam did call out Barry and say,
okay, then I guess the person I talked to had that wrong then, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then the reason to ship him out is because the owner doesn't want him.
That's unless Haslam's just such a snake that he's deflecting the blame.
Now, that I can see.
Now, here's what you do. If you're the GM of the Browns and you have a trade commodity, trade bait, where you can improve Cleveland, do you trade against your owner's request to improve the team and possibly put your job in jeopardy?
I mean, we're all talking about the Cleveland Browns, a very toxic organization. And so I would not be the least. Frankly, the thing is that I think it's just overall, a situation that we shouldn't rule out. I know we're talking about trading Shador. They have so many people that are quarterbacks in that room. They could trade 2 for all we know.
I think they have 6 now, don't they?
So, like, they could trade Gabriel. They could trade Shador. You know, like, frankly, I think that if you were to ask ideally what would be the quarterback, if you're talking Saints, it would be either a Dylan Gabriel or a Shador Sanders that Kellen Moore would want. As far as the processing. And frankly, look, I'm not necessarily a Shador fan, but the player side of things, he's a really good quarterback. Like, I will be honest, he is a really good quarterback. So, like, you put him with a Kellen Moore type of offense, I don't think it's hyperbole or even a bit too overreactionary to say that he probably does start there. The question is just due to the outside, and everything, is it too much of a distraction for that? But then at that same time, it's like, well, why did you trade for him?
Kellen Moore on the Saints, isn't it?
So
what do you do?
Okay. We went down a rabbit. We went down a rabbit hole. We're going back to the Broncos.
This is Broncos Buzz. We go on
Get one
tangents
more
all the
topic.
time.
All right.
One more
No,
question.
you save it for your stupid show. All right.
This is why Mike's here to keep all of us on track.
We talked about the offensive side of the ball, and we'll talk more. There's a lot of players that
Did you hear that, Spence?
I thought
I
Shine.
did.
There's a lot. Well, listen. Read that right below my name. What does that say?
Beer man.
Stupid show.
wow.
We talked about the offense. We'll come back to it more. There's some players I think stood out that we're going to talk about.
Oh, I have some stuff on.
But I also want to
for our
talk
show
about
Friday.
the defensive side of the ball. Definitely got better once the starters came out. But all in all, other than Nick Benito, I wasn't really all that excited with what we saw on the first team defense either.
I mean,
It wasn't horrible, but like all the hype that we were getting through the start of training camp and the offseason with all these players we signed, it just kind of felt flat. You know what I mean?
I mean, the defensive line did fine.
It was 2 dog crap plays that really sunk the whole operation.
Yeah.
Bingo.
So, yeah, I'm
Mario.
not too concerned about it. It was, if those 2 plays hadn't happened, and then we wouldn't be sitting here saying that the defense sucked. We'd be talking about how Nick Benito wrecked shop on a series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 plays that accounted for, if I remember right, like about 78 or 70 yards. You take those 2 plays out, we held them to less than 130 yards. Not concerned at all about this. Again, for some to most of these players, this is a new offense, new defensive scheme. You're getting used to new players. You're creating a cultural bond. There's rookies who are trying to get it up to NFL speed. This is a learning curve. And for anybody to say, oh my God, the sky is falling, you do not understand.
Don't say nothing, Mike.
Bill. Now, again, I'm saying all this not criticizing the defense, right? I think that the problem is when you go into this first preseason game against the 49ers, there was all this hype about how the offense is going to look, how the defense is going to look. And then you watch the first preseason game and it's meh. I'm not saying that they played bad. It's just I think that expectations were so high that it was going to be almost impossible for them to hit that. And I think that's where all of this disappointment and conversation is coming from.
Well, and this is the thing too, and I'd be curious if Gage saw it the same way, but it's like the McMillan play, right? Like, the McMillan play was almost like a spitting image to a certain degree of like the Barron play that happened in practice against joint practice, where he was maybe just a step behind, if you will. But even then, like the only throw that you can beat is perfect coverage, right? And Mac Jones, to his credit, like he had the perfect ball that you could possibly throw. And then obviously, what does McMillan do based on the McMillan experience? He gets an INT. Like he gets an INT and everything, is all is well in the world. So I mean, it's like I just think that the defense didn't necessarily play its best as a first overall unit, but there were still some standouts. I thought the defensive line did fine. It's a kind of wore on. I thought Jonathan Cooper had some pretty nice moments that's not talked about. So I just thought overall, again, calm your tits.
Yep.
Who keeps touching my comments?
Me.
Sign off.
That was my only time. my only time. Just relax, Mike. Bring it up. It's okay.
Go ahead.
Get them involved as we're talking. Keep the fans engaged.
Exactly.
Right, Gage?
Yes, keep them engaged. Love it.
Wow. Mike just going nuts.
No, I completely agree on the Jaquan play.
You can't read him that way,
He had
Mike.
solid coverage on that. That was just a great throw. But as far as, like some of the other plays where the defense struggled, there was that run play in the end zone where it kind of looked like Nick Benito was getting held, first of all. And then Riley Moss, he was left to kind of clean it up. He had his hips kind of flipped initially, so he was in a bad position. He couldn't get back over there in time. So there's a coaching point on that. But if the refs had not swallowed their whistle and called that holding penalty, then, again, that's one we wouldn't be talking about. So overall, man, the first team defense, I thought that their final series, Nick Benito going in there and having 3 straight plays where he wins off the edge, he beats a backup tight end like horribly bad. Then he beats the right tackle twice, or the left tackle twice, actually. The first one, the tackle took a bad set, and Nick just flew right past him. And then the second one, Benito was able to again win up front, and he almost had 3 sacks there on Mac Jones in that sequence. It was a game-wrecking sequence. And, yeah, I think he sent a message to the Broncos front office with that one for sure. So that was the positive to take away from the first team defense. And then they went out and bounced back again today in training camp. So the defense, I feel like, is the least of our concerns right now.
Yeah, and you ended the game with the defense having 4 interceptions. So obviously the defense played very well, no concerns there. But continuing on with Nick Benito before we get into anything else. NFL Top 100, he lands at 38. But I also wanted to ask, because we saw Nick Benito come up a little lame in the preseason game. I think it was his foot.
Yeah.
He's going to be good, right?
He's fine.
Okay, he's good.
He's okay.
Yeah, Sean.
It looked like he did a little minor ankle roll on one of the plays.
Okay, because we're already starting to see Drake Greenlaw with some more injuries, and Alex
not really
had injuries, and I don't want Nick Benito to have one. I don't want to start this injury trend. You know what I mean?
They actually said that Sean Payton said that Drake Greenlaw will be, I believe, back at practice tomorrow, and they're being cautious with it. They're being cautious with him. They're being cautious with Singleton.
Good.
We already have one injury that's out for the season, and they cut him today.
So big, Bill. Such a big injury.
A good segue though. Matt Henningsen.
Poor Matt Henningsen.
Matt Henningsen tears his Achilles and he's injury waived, right? Is he waived and then back on injured reserve, or just
he's basically back on the team?
Okay. And then they went out and signed Gregory Jr., a defensive back.
Where did he come from? Where did Junior come from?
He's on injured reserve.
He came from
where did Junior come from?
He came from the Key and Peele skit.
Okay. What?
Jacksonville. He came from Jacksonville.
You don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that is.
See?
I don't either. So
Key and Peele?
Nope.
No clue.
I get you. I get you, Cameron.
It's the Chappelle Show after the Chappelle Show. You don't know what that is either?
So that if you guys have time, you guys can YouTube it. But if you guys have time, go Google.
I am not going to YouTube that.
It's actually hysterical.
Anytime I tell Bill to Google or YouTube something, it ends poorly. So
to be fair, I'm
not going to.
To be fair, he probably
Bill, Yahoo.com. That'll help you. Yahoo.com. Okay.
But anyway, the Key Appeal skit does this thing where they introduce different, team names, and it's very creative, like team names. And one of the names on there is Juniors. And there's obviously Hingle McCringleberry, which for a Von Miller lesson, that's why he did the pump, in his dance celebration. So if you have time, go watch the Key and Peele skit.
I have to admit, being 67 years old,
I know you do live
way out of touch with the 20s and 30-year-old guys.
I know you do live under a rock. Let's be honest.
All right, so
on a golf course.
Yeah, so we covered that. We talked a little bit of offense. We talked a little bit of defense. One of the other big players I think that we need to talk about is RJ Harvey. I think that RJ Harvey showed huge upside just in that game. I am a little concerned, and I don't know if it was play calls or not, but it seemed like he kept running outside. Was he supposed to run outside, or was that just a decision he would make?
I don't know, but he certainly wasn't gaining any yards going outside.
Well, there was one I saw where he.
Well, yeah, he had
Bill.
He must have been watching a different game because he had some great plays where he came outside, looked like he was going to get knocked for only a yard or two gain. Suddenly it turns into 8, 9, or 10.
Language.
Yeah, but it wasn't consistent. I mean, it's always seemed to go to the right, always seemed to go to the right, always seemed to go to the right. It would never seem to be anything different than outside.
It's game one, Bill. He's getting acclimated to NFL speed. He's in the video room right now with his running backs
right now,
showing him exactly where the holes were, where the vision are. When he was in college, it was a different game. He's in the pros now, so he's got to realize these guys know what he can do. Now he's got to acclimate and adjust to a new system and a new profession. He'll get there.
Gage, what do you think?
Well, hold on. And again, like before Gage, I'll pass over to you.
No, you're cool.
Before we get into that, like we talked about how the play calls are going to be different because it's a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm wondering is, was RJ Harvey running outside by design? Are they doing that to try to make a weakness a strength? Or was he kicking that out on his own because he just couldn't find the opening in the line?
Yes and no. I think that they've said it. They're transitioning to more of an outside zone scheme. Okay. That's very apparent on film. But I don't think all these runs are designed to go on the outside. I just think that Harvey knows that's his strength and he utilizes it very frequently. There was one run that I definitely saw where he could have been a little bit more patient for another like half second and the hole would have developed up the middle. But yeah, other than that though, I feel like he did fine. Like there was one play where he bounced outside and the corner got him. And generally, that was the play.
Yep.
That you were thinking of. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the one where it's kind of like, okay, I don't know about that one, but other than that, I feel like he did fine. He was patient. There was one play where he was really patient before he bounced outside, and that one showed up. They like zoomed in on that one on the broadcast, and it showed up really well on the All-22 as well. So I feel like he did fine out there for a rookie literally playing in his first NFL game. They threw him into the pool, and he didn't drown, so that's the most you can ask for.
Well, and I think the other part of it too is like, if we're going to be a bit overreactionary, I think that, one of the takeaways, should be like when you look at RJ Harvey, they were featuring him a lot and featuring him a lot also in the passing game, which I think as a Broncos fan, that should be exciting because with Sean Payton and everything, they've not really had a running back like this type, if you will, since Kamara. In terms of Sean Payton. So I think the fact that they were featuring him in such a way, I thought was super exciting, specifically in the passing game. Now, there are probably a few plays where Bo specifically, and this will just, come with, obviously the practice and everything, where like the swing pass, which are those designated pass plays, to the running back, those plays are going to be hit on more often than not. And so like if on those particular plays where that was wide open, Harvey might actually take that to the house. So like there's going to be some situations where it's going to be exciting. And I think that there also should be some grace, obviously, too. And I know, with the rookies and everything, like, and even with Crawshaw, to be fair, but just the rookies in general, show some grace a little bit. I mean, I think at times like Harvey would probably had to do a little bit of some nerves, some excitement, if you will.
They're all saying,
hello.
Hi, Anna.
So I think it was just, I think it was just a bit of just some he was amped up. He was, a bit of some nerves, and so I think it was just one where the times where he would bounce it outside, it was just a bit instinctive, and then there was the few times where he would bounce it outside, which was the smart call. I just think at the end of the day, it was just a bit of a nerves thing.
I heard the perfect analogy about rookies one time. They're like puppies. You think they're cute and adorable, and you're so enamored by them until they piss on your floor and chew up your shoes. they're making growing pains. They're learning and growing in the moment. And it feels like sometimes fan bases don't have enough patience with these rookies.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think that there's any rookie that I find cute. But if any of them pissed on my floor, I wouldn't say anything because they're mad. So.
Let me ask you a question. Nobody's talked about J.K. Dobbins. Do
He
you
only
guys
had
think
one play?
Yeah, but he is slated as the starting running back.
With an
I don't
injury,
One.
well, but with an injury history, that it doesn't shock me that they wouldn't play him.
Right.
And again, Bill, this was Harvey's introduction to NFL speed. He had to get in there. This was the coach's chance to say, okay, we've got you through this point in training camp. You've been learning. Here's your first test. Now we're going to go put you into the video room, show you how you did on your test, what you can do to improve, how you can enhance your vision. This was a show for rookies, for newbies to get acclimated and to see how things are going to be coming for him down the road. And a great way for the coaches to look at him and point things out, point holes.
Okay, I get that, but what I'm saying is, Dobbins has not had any experience under Sean Payton. So would they want to put him in there? I mean, yeah, maybe he's had injuries, but at what point in time do you put the guy in?
Third preseason.
Second preseason. I think you will see him more in the second preseason game. And I think that, it was just, and Spence answered that. Like, it's just like, it was just more of an acclamation for a fair amount of those rookies, and I think that, when you look at for Dobbins, he's also been a vet. And I know he's maybe not been as successful yet, but he's still a vet. And, it's still one where it's like, if you probably want to tend to a little bit of the vet in that situation. And I think they probably wanted to hide a little bit as far as some of his carries.
First love.
Hide a little bit of his carries. I do think you see a little bit more of maybe the expected split. I think the part that, if you're looking at the backfield between Harvey and Dobbins that I think is exciting is when they use Dobbins, like on third downs and as a third down back. I thought that is really exciting and I think that that's where it's going to give the Broncos so many different options, because if there's one thing I will say, talking about Dobbins and Harvey, that was so creative when I was at that camp on Friday, and maybe Gage has seen this a few more times being a practice. There has been packages where there has been a J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey backfield. So so maybe they're going to be a little bit more creative. Maybe you don't necessarily see him entirely on third down, but you see him in situations where there's both Dobbins and Harvey on the field.
Yep.
All right, Gage, let me ask you a quick question. Preseason 1, obviously, is passed. Preseason 2 against Arizona. Preseason 3. When does Sean Payton open up the playbook entirely? Is it any time during the next two preseasons, or does he open it up in game 1 against Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, game 1 against Tennessee. Every single NFL team plays super vanilla in the preseason, with the exception of maybe the San Francisco 49ers on defense last week. But every other preseason game that you see, it's vanilla defenses, very basic day 1 install play calls, because they don't want any of their stuff to be shown on tape. They want to keep everything to the chest. And that's why I feel like joint practices are a little bit more valuable than the preseason games. And that's why some teams like the Rams, they treat their joint practices as preseason games, and they don't play their actual starters at all in the preseason, because in the joint practices, you can show all your looks, you can show all of your exotic blitzes, you can show all of your offensive scheme and whatnot, and you don't have to worry about that team going out and poaching it, because you're not going to play them in the season. So that's kind of why I feel like those joint practices that we had both last week against San Francisco and the one that we're going to have on Thursday against Arizona, I think those are going to be a lot more valuable than what you're getting out of these games.
So they can't film those practices?
No.
I mean, you can.
Well, you can film them, but you're not going to be holding a joint practice with the team that you're going to be playing this year. That's why they picked the Cardinals and the 49ers, because they're not going to play them this year. They're not going to play them next year either, I don't believe. So they don't have to worry about any of their scheme getting leaked out or anything crazy like that.
So teams that do film, let's say like the 49ers or Cardinals, they can't share that with other teams.
Not unless you're the Patriots.
Yeah. Or the North Carolina
Tar Heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I would like to point out that Spence just yeeted his camera all over the place.
No, that was my honey.
And you got Bill down here with his name saying Phillip Rivers is my all-time favorite quarterback. What is going on with Broncos Buzz here
Would
today?
you quit putting that in there?
This is Broncos Buzz. Yeah, like that. Exactly. We're ever changing. We're revolving. We're going this way. We're going that way. We're going everything.
This Friday, Mike, is our last show ever.
Okay.
Done.
Sounds good to me. All right.
Wow.
Started it. All right. So we talked about R.J. Harvey. We talked about J.K. Dobbins.
Honey.
Now, I want to, speaking of running backs, I want to go on the other side of the shoe and talk about some players that were
absolute booty cheeks.
I've been planning that one for like 10 minutes. Like, okay,
that's so classic when you do it.
So, Audric Estime, one of the guys that we talked about the whole offseason, the whole preseason till now, did not have a good game. I don't even know what to call him. Like Jack,
I heard he's on the bubble for fifth.
I think he's off the bubble now. He did not play well.
No. He had one good play. That was about it. I mean, he had a couple of like okay runs up the middle, but nothing to write home about and nothing to convince me that he should make this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, like heavy quotations. Yeah.
And if he was on the bubble, his ass just fell through it. Like no more bubble.
And the thing is, like, if there is two, we might get to this one too, but it's just like if there is two really strong takeaways from this game, it's all on the offensive side of the ball. And it is, frankly, with two position groups. And, it is that running back room. I mean, I think the running back room kind of shifted a little bit in terms of, like, just the overall pecking order. And probably it depends on, who you felt like shined a little bit more. And that was between Tyler Toilet and,
Toilet?
And
what?
Bidet.
Tyler.
His name is Tyler Bidet. Tyler Toilet.
Oh, but that's not
good. God,
Cameron. Remember, Bill is an older guy.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
Bodie. It's Bodie.
He's not even a Broncos fan. He's got an Avalanche hat, and Phillip Rivers is his all-time favorite quarterback.
No, you put that on there.
Whatever, man.
It's Tyler Bodie.
It's
Bidet.
It's Bidet.
Not
Bidet.
It's Bidet. That's his last name.
I would never pronounce my name that way. I would say Bodie.
We used to call him Batty, but his name is Tyler Bidet.
Because he's stupid for putting that as a name.
He was born with it.
Yeah, but you could change the way you pronounce it. I would say Bodie.
He was born by it. He was molded by it. We'll just go with that.
I mean, I'm not.
Bill sounds like Will, which goes to William, which you can then use for Dick. Okay, how about that?
But anyway, there's a whole lot of
that circle. That was nice, wasn't it?
So, but there was just a lot that was going on with that running back room.
Oh my gosh!
Estime was
now I'm gonna be called Dick from now on.
Estime was clearly the biggest victim of this, though. Like, he looked bad. He looked rough. It just depends on how your overall pecking order of, like, between it is of, like, Tyler Bidet and Blake Watson. Like, who's – frankly, I will even say this. And I mean, I still think he's a lock because of, Sean Payton loves him. Jaleel McLaughlin has been shifted. I think is, so if you're talking about the overall running back room, it's really what's your pecking order after Harvey, because, like, is it going to be Tyler Bidet or is it going to be Blake Watson and Tyler Bidet? Like, that's going to be your four. Like, that to me was a bit of the running back shuffling of of how it was going to, be going forward. But I will say this, Sean did talk about that today. and he said that there might be a little bit of a different running back room in this second preseason game. If this same thing happens in game 2, we have a lot to talk about, like even more, because like in the sense like we are talking about a completely reshuffled room,
which is
At
a
this
good
point
problem
in
to
time-
have.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Ted.
Good problem to have.
Yes. Like, I can't remember the last time we were having these kind of conversations about potential NFL caliber talent that we might have to cut from the roster just because we don't have room for them. I mean, that's just a crazy conversation to have. But as far as Jaleel McLaughlin, I don't know if necessarily like maybe his role in like the rotation changed, but I don't think his role itself changed. He's a pure scat back. That's the role he's going to fill. With Watson, I think it's interesting because he's a good receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there can be some plays where he's in the slot and you've got another back in there actually in the backfield or something crazy like that. There's a bunch of different ways that you can utilize Watson, and I think he's got a slightly different skill set than Jaleel does. And I just feel like Sean loves Jaleel. He's one of his grinders. Jalil's the first guy in the building every single day. And then I think Bidet is another guy you could sneak back on the practice squad for another year. I don't know if another team would claim him, and even if they did, it's not the biggest loss in the world. You can find another guy to fill that role. So that's kind of the way I think things are gonna go. I think they're gonna ultimately keep 4 running backs, and I think it's gonna be Dobbins, Harvey, Jaleel, and Watson.
And I just want to say, like, whoever like manufactures and sells bidets, you're missing out on like the perfect person to do commercials for you. Like, his last name is Bidet. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were going to say Bill for a second. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was waiting for
We
that.
don't call him Bill. We call him Dick.
You see, that's my new nickname, obviously.
Right. One of the other players that I have
Bronco
that did not
Dick.
play well. Hey, now I got to change the name. One of the other players I thought that did not play well, and this was more in the third and fourth quarter, Courtney Jackson. I felt did not play well. Was it a fumble that he lost? Or was that a
bad
interception
That was his
No,
only
fumble.
bad play, though. I thought he had a good game outside of that.
Really?
I would say that there was a bit, ebbs and flows. That's what I would say for Courtney Jackson. Frankly, I think his worst play, was when he was a punt returner, like
The fair catch.
and fair catching a ball that you do not fair catch that ball unless he was unless he was specifically instructed to fair catch that ball. You do not fair catch that ball.
And if you look
Judging
at
by
it,
how he reacted, I don't think
I was
that
going
was
to
the
say,
case. He was pissed.
Gage, after the reaction, it's like, oh, shoot, I should have done that.
You don't fair
Yeah,
catch a punt in the preseason. You could have 5 guys
Right.
honing in on you. If you want to make this team, you catch that ball and you do something. And you might take a brutal hit, but that shows the class that you have and the culture you want to bring to this team, that you intend to go through the pains and the wills and all that stuff. So, yeah, when I saw that fair catch, I was like, okay, that just put him down one level.
Yeah. Well, and specific, you also have to think room, right? And and obviously, like, the wide receiver room that we know it, like, is pretty much all confirmed. Like, we saw that, frankly, it was officially confirmed, if you will, after that 49ers game with the performance of Trent Sherfield. But nonetheless, like, they are keeping 6 wide receivers. So it's just a matter of like necessity, or just more of like, do they feel it necessary to have a 7th wide receiver? And then at that point, you are talking about the guys of like a Courtney Jackson, a Joaquin Davis, who frankly had a better game. I thought he actually was a bit good in the sense for some of the plays that he was able to do. So he played pretty well. Juwan Newton obviously has got the chemistry with Sam Ellinger. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, they are keeping 6 wide receivers. Like, that was probably, like, as far as that position room, they are keeping 6 wide receivers, thanking to the performance of Trent Sherfield.
So
I wouldn't sleep on the veteran Bandy either. Michael Bandy got some runs with the ones today, so keep an eye on him as well. But as far as like the undrafted guys, I would definitely agree that Joaquin Davis stood out the best out of the three. Or,
Did you
I
guys
guess
have?
four.
Did you guys have anybody else on your list that did not play well?
Yes, Ben Powers
Hmm.
and Luke Wattenberg.
Wow.
Ooh.
Ben Powers, really?
No, Ben Powers did not play well. Gave up a couple of pressures. Just did not look good out there.
Honestly, I thought the starting offensive line in general did not play well. And that means that, yes, Quinn Miners didn't play well either.
Agreed. He had a bad rep out there too.
So I think that honestly, there really wasn't a whole lot as far as like players that as far as like of the top unit, because I think we pretty much discussed it. But I mean, as far as maybe some of the players depth wise, Powerade Boy didn't have a good game. Clay Webb didn't have a good game. I mean, frankly, if we're going to be talking about players that maybe help themselves down the line for 2026 or 2027, Nick Gargulio had himself a game. Who was like their 7th round draft pick, I believe, was in the Benito draft
last year.
Yeah.
Like he might slide into left guard if they decide to move on from Ben Powers. After his contract year, I don't know. Maybe they slide Gargulio there at left guard. So he played pretty well. So it also looked like Joe Molchalski, who had been getting some run at center, played pretty well. But I mean, other than that, you're talking more of players that didn't play well, like more so in like the end of the second quarter to obviously the end of the game.
Yeah.
Sam Ellinger, I didn't think he played too well.
He's also not a quarterback.
Bronco Dick, you got anybody? It's official too. Look at your name.
We love you, Bill. We love you, Bill.
Oh, God, Mike.
I do not endorse nor condone any of this Bill bullying. None of it.
They do this, Bill, because they care.
Yes.
Yeah, they care about making me the.
Think of it like Mario. You know how Mario clowns me or clowns Mike, or any of us? Like, it's because he loves us.
You're loved, Bill.
Well, can you love me a little bit less?
Okay.
No.
Because if you do that, you'll take me off the network. So don't go there. Anyways, do I have anything else to say about what?
Who was there anybody in particular that played bad in your eyes? I mean, other than Bo Nix. We know you're going to say Bo Nix because you want Jarrett Stidham to start. I'm saying other than that.
I'm not saying I want Jarrett Stidham to start. I'm saying if Bo Nix plays like he did at the beginning of the season, the way he did in the first quarter, if he plays that way for the first 3 or 4 games, yeah, you got to take him out because he isn't.
Okay, he's muted. Go ahead, Gage.
Unmute him.
I'll jump in.
This is what I brought him here for.
I know I said this in the beginning, but you use a 6th round draft pick on a punter.
Yeah.
And his first 2 punts, he's at midfield and barely gets them inside the 20-yard line, and one of them's returned 28 yards. If you're going to invest a 6th round pick on a kicker, you want this guy sticking the ball inside the 10, not inside the 20, inside the 10, inside the 5. I was just worried. Now, yes, he came back later. He had a 50-yard punt. That's good. But let's work more on the pinning the opposing team inside the 10, pinning them closer to the goal line and making our defense more prominent. That's the biggest takeaway I had from this game was you're wasting a 6th round pick on a punter who didn't have a good game. All right, Bill.
Yeah.
And
Mike, you cracked me up. You got
his name again.
You got Broncos.
No.
Broncos
Keep your
Dick, keep your hands to yourself.
God.
Yes, Rich, I agree.
I'm going to get us back on the rails here.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get back on the rails, shall we?
Well,
I agree with the assessment on the punter. Like, Crawshaw did not have a good day.
Gosh.
Even the 50-yard punt that he had, the context behind it wasn't good. It was a shorty kick, and he ended up getting a lucky roll and a holding penalty on top of it. So the result was good. The process was not good even on that one. So
Yeah.
I think the consistency definitely needs to improve because we know he's got a big leg. He kicked a 61-yarder today with over 5 seconds of hang time. On the first day of camp, he had a 70-yarder with over 5 seconds of hang time. So we know that he can boom the ball, but the placement, punting, all of those fine, intricate details of the position, he's got to get a lot better. And another player that I felt kind of struggled out there, and it was another rookie making his NFL debut, that's Savion Jones. I feel like 3 or 4 times Jones showed up on my notes for getting washed out in the run game. So I would say that he struggled out there as well.
Yeah.
Rich, I'm not a Chargers fan. Mike changed my name.
No, I didn't.
You
Bill.
changed it before.
Bill, we've all seen the video.
No,
Yeah.
there is no video.
All right, so stop clicking on the. So we've all talked about the bad players. I want to talk about the good players. I think that there are a couple that stood out, at least in my mind. I'm sure you guys have more. Troy Franklin was one of mine. We've talked about Blake Watson. We've talked about Tyler Bidet. We've talked about Nick Bonito. Trent Sherfield.
Yeah!
Yes. And then I have one more that I fell in love with during that game. Karene Reed.
Let's get it on.
Linebacker.
Good choices, man.
Had an interception, had so many tackles, had tackles for loss. He was all over the place.
Q Robinson is another one, honestly.
Yeah, that's why I did that, because I don't know how to cue it here.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, Q was awesome.
No, I would be disappointed if no one had Troy Franklin at number 1. I would just say that. I would be disappointed if, no one had him number 1. And obviously, I've only been at one practice, but I also was pretty impressed in that one practice. Like, there's just a different confidence. That's really the best way to describe it for him. Like, there's just a confidence level for him this year. Like, it is different. His body's different. He's about 5 to – actually, no, I'd probably say it's about 10 to 15 pounds stronger for what it is in terms of his overall frame. He's using his body better. Funny enough, on that 4th down play, he doesn't make that play last year. I mean, there was a play last year in that playoff game that was almost a spitting image of that, and he dropped it. It went through his hands, and it was dropped. So I think that he played really well. I thought the wide receiver room in general played exceptionally well. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought Pat Bryant had himself a game. I thought that, obviously Trent Sherfield really made a name for himself. Like, basically, my comparison for this has been Trent Sherfield has basically turned himself to basically be the Juwan Jennings right now for this team early on. Like, in the sense, like, just basically being the Mr. Reliable, block his tail off. I mean, I'm sure Jennings probably has had some special teams value at the beginning point of his career with the Niners. But, like, he's becoming a pretty, and maybe at the early stages of this, a very valuable member of this wide receiving core. And, yes, he is proving himself to be way more worthy than little Jordan Humphrey was last year. I mean,
God, it's not even close.
So, like, and it's not even close. Like, little Jordan Humphrey does not make that catch in the end zone and use enough balance in the end zone, to catch that. So I thought he played pretty well. The Q Robinson thing, I think, is very interesting for the overall defensive, like, pass rush unit behind the starters, because there's going to be a conversation. Dondrea Tillman's not going to be off the team, but there's a question of what is the highest ceiling for your pass rush unit. And between, if you were to ask me what the highest ceiling would be, you roll out a Jonah Ellis and a Q Robinson pass rush unit behind Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito. That is a nasty unit, because Robinson and Ellis have such a quick first step. And frankly, Ellis, I know that got a shout out later or early in the show. He had a phenomenal game. Frankly, if there was a player aside from Troy Franklin who probably had the best game, it was Jonah Ellis. He was unreal. His first step was crazy off the line of scrimmage. He was relentless. He was creating forced fumbles. He was getting to the quarterback at will. So, like, if that's the kind of stuff, not to put too much of, because I think they do extend Nick Bonito, but, like, that's the kind of stuff. Like, that's the kind of stuff that, like, if you do push it to where, like, you want to wait and not extend Nick Bonito, That's the kind of stuff that you would probably see on a week in, week out basis. That's like, oh, wow, we have something here that maybe a player's going to be not only cheaper, but expendable.
Yeah. I mean, Jonah Ellis, dude, breathing down the quarterback's neck all night. That forced fumble that he had. Stop barking. Come on. That forced fumble was, oh, man. He's going to live in the nightmares of that quarterback for weeks, dude. I cannot believe how good Jonah looked out there. Well, actually, I can because he's looked like that in training camp. He's been virtually unblockable. And we saw Nick Bonito take those steps forward in year 2. It's kind of a similar thing with Jonah Ellis where he's putting it together. And Troy Franklin, too. He's putting it together in year 2. It seems like year 2 for these Sean Payton draft picks is when things really start to click.
Marvin Mims is another example.
Yes. I can go on and on with examples.
Yeah.
By the way, that's not Kona Spence that's barking, nor is it his wife. Just let you know.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
I'm just saying it's not either. It's not a human.
Whoa.
I mean,
I'm
fair.
my house is known. My house
I'm
is
not
known
touching
as,
that one.
my house is known as Casa de la Chaos. So who knows what's going
Yeah.
on?
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Sounds like my place.
All right. Anything else that you guys want to cover that we have not on the preseason game?
No, I mean, all in all,
JT and Fogue over there.
I have to do it. I have to refocus.
So,
all in all, I just I thought that it was.
like a very
Gage, should I do that?
I just thought it was such an impressive outing.
God,
Hey, if we don't touch on one thing, Lutz is kicking 3 for 3 for field goals, 3 for 3 for extra points.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Let's,
Yes. Lots.
would have been nice if he had a 70-yarder like Cam Little, but
you
know.
And
Yeah, but hey,
Jeremy
wait a
Crawshaw.
minute. Hold on. I have a question because I don't know this. Is a 70-yard field goal in preseason count as official?
No.
No.
Okay.
unfortunately.
Just like if Jahdae Barron and RJ Harvey scored their touchdown in the preseason game, which they will, and against the Arizona Cardinals, it won't count.
Okay.
Yep.
Just
And
just
with
wondering
Lutz, I
because
just wanted to make a note
everybody was
that-
talking about how awesome it was to kick a 70-yard field goal. I'm thinking, yeah, that's awesome, but oh my gosh, does that count?
No.
No.
I wish it did.
Unfortunately.
We've seen some like 65-yarders in the preseason before.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that might be the longest. I think we might have seen a 72 in the preseason once. I can't remember, but they don't count. But with Lutz, I did want to mention with Jeremy Crawshaw, new holder in there, and we didn't see any operational issues on field goal.
Nope.
So for all the crap that Jeremy Crawshaw got as a punter, he didn't have any issues as a holder, which was good.
True.
All right.
Great show, guys.
So we got the next preseason game against the Cardinals. I think we'll probably see more of the same. Obviously, we're hoping that they play a little bit better and maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. But I did kind of want to close on an interesting question because I've been picking on Bill all day, so I'm going to give him an opportunity to go ahead and say the Chargers because I know that's what he's going to say. If you weren't a Broncos fan, what team would you be a fan of?
Minnesota Vikings. That's my NFC team.
It was really quickly. It was really quick. I'm not gonna lie. You didn't even think
That
about
was too fast.
Minnesota Vikings is my okay. You guys may not know this. I've been a Vikings fan since 1970 as my favorite team to 1976. In 1976, I became a Broncos fan because my oldest sister, who's 11 years older than me, moved to Littleton, Colorado. And the Broncos, she moved there in 76, and the year I graduated. And
Lordy.
yeah, I'm 67, dude. Anyway, so she moved there in 1976. The first year the Broncos went to Super Bowl was 77. She said, "Hey, did you catch the game?" No, I did. I caught her fever. I caught her emotion. I caught her passion. That's why I became a Broncos fan. My NFC team will always be the Minnesota Vikings. My AFC team will always be the Denver Broncos. My Super Bowl should have been
true.
Super Bowl 33.
It's true.
Should have been the Vikings,
So-
and it should have been the Broncos.
Now that Bill has admitted he's a bandwagon fan, anybody else? Anybody else?
Go ahead, Spence.
Yeah, Rams, because I'm an LA guy. I grew up here, even though I have family all over Colorado. I got shipped there and everything. Pat Hayden used to live down the street from us when I was a kid. So definitely the Rams. And my dream Super Bowl is Rams Broncos. Would love to see it.
Sean McVay against, or it would be the Sean Super Bowl, right?
It would.
Okay,
It's
now we got
possible this year.
Stupid Vikings missed a field goal against Atlanta.
Oh man.
Well, get a better kicker.
Honestly, that Vikings team, I wouldn't have wanted to face them in the Super Bowl.
I know.
But,
No,
but,
no.
but Gage, in all honesty, because the Broncos won Super Bowl 32, I would not have minded if the Vikings would have won, because I would have been happy either
Whoa.
way. Hang on, you guys are missing.
You're live, Bill.
Bandwagon.
You guys are missing.
You're live.
What I'm saying is, it would have been a win-win. Broncos win, I'd be happy. Vikings
Win
win,
for
I'd be
who?
happy.
Win-win for Bill.
That would have been a lose-lose, sir. 'Cause either
No,
way,
it
one of
would
your
have been
favorite teams is losing.
It would have been a win for the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Gage, who do you
Hey,
got?
Mike, I need a new co-host on Friday, please.
We will work on it. As a member of NFL media, I shall abstain from this question.
Oh, that's such a cop-out.
I have to abstain.
Cam, what about you? Your two favorite teams?
I will actually go with probably one in the AFC and then maybe one in the NFC. I think for the AFC would probably be the Buffalo Bills.
Not the Broncos?
If he wasn't a Broncos fan, what team would he be a fan of? Is the question, Bill.
You need to adjust your
you
hearing
said-
aids,
So
you know.
AFC, if it wasn't an AFC team, it'd have to be probably
Chargers. We know.
Chargers.
I mean, I'm just gonna.
I
throw
would
these out there.
say Buffalo. I would say Buffalo Bills because I have a lot of relatives that are Buffalo Bills fans.
Copycat.
I would say Buffalo Bills. I felt bad for Jim. I really felt bad for Jim Kelly at the Buffalo Bills for those 4 years. Anyways,
But-
go on.
But
Go on,
yes,
Cam, I'm sorry.
I would say Buffalo Bills. I mean, it's the Josh Allen side of things makes it really easy to like right now. Aside from the fact that the Bills' history in general, going 4 straight Super Bowls and not winning, I don't know. That is, I don't know.
That's tough.
That's
tough.
You won't see a worse side of sports history than the Buffalo Bills there. But I don't know. I would probably be a Bills guy. And then on the NFC side of things would be, I don't know. There's probably more to choose from for me on the NFC side of things, because I really like the Philadelphia Eagles right now as far as like an organization with how they're run. I like the Detroit Lions, obviously, under Dan Campbell. I do like the 49ers in general. Always have. I think they're one of like the top uniforms in all of sports. So I think probably if I was to like peel it down and choose one, I probably would say the Detroit Lions, just because it seems to be like the very easiest answer as of late.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, steal from. See, this is why I always have to answer my own questions first, so that nobody else can say I copied. But for NFC, yes, it would be Lions. Always got to go with the underdog. They haven't won anything, so you got to go Lions. And then AFC would be the Bills, because in '94 I lived in a suburb of Rochester, New York, and Rochester, New York is where the Bills hold their training camp. And I actually went to a Super Bowl party for the '94 Bills and watched them lose their 4th in a row. So Bills would have been mine.
Okay.
All right, let's throw this out there. Aside from your Broncos allegiance, what's your dream Super Bowl if you could have it right now?
Gage pleads the 5th.
No, I actually would answer this one.
Go for it.
Bills and Lions.
Agreed. Right now,
Okay, Gage,
neither of them
Gage.
have won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Mhm.
So once you answer your dream Super Bowl, who would you want to win?
Detroit, because my business partner is a Lions fan, and I'd want to see him get a Super Bowl. That's tough though,
So the
because
Bills
neither
would
one
lose
of them have won it
5?
before.
The Bills would lose 5 under you?
Yeah, but
Wow.
Detroit, man, they've been suffering for so long. They need it, man. They need it bad.
Detroit winning the Super Bowl would almost be equivalent to when the Nuggets won the finals, actually. Like,
Yeah.
This is an easy answer. If we're going based on this year, I want to see the Titans and the Saints in the Super Bowl. That's what I want to see.
so he wants 0 fans.
The level of crap that would be in that game would be hilarious.
The lowest rated Super Bowl in history is the Nuggets won.
Gosh. That's almost like Cleveland and I don't know.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland and Cleveland. They start Flacco on one team, they start Shedeur on the other.
Yeah.
Cleveland's one
Practice
for
squad.
Cleveland's twos. There's not much of a discrepancy in talent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my gosh, this whole show turned crazy, just like it always does when you.
Hey,
invite us on,
I
Mike.
got another one for the old people. And Gage and Cam, you can answer too. Who would you draft first? If you had these guys available, who would you draft first? Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown, Walter Payton, or Jerry Rice?
Wait a minute.
Who are you picking? You can pick one.
No, let me ask you this question: am I building a team on this player, or do I already have established?
You
teams
get
to make
no
this
other
team better?
context. The question is, who do you draft first?
Man,
Out of Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown, Walter Payton, and Jerry Rice.
I'll go first. Lawrence Taylor, because he was a man who had so much energy, so much goodness for the culture. He was building a team. This is the guy. I know Jim Brown would be a close second, but I want Lawrence Taylor getting that defense all motivated, all excited, ready to play and ready to build.
this is hard for me because it's one where I'm such a huge fan for him. Like, he is my second favorite running back of all time. And I have a video game to thank for this in Tecmo Bowl. The reason why I love Walter Payton is because of Tecmo Bowl. And if you, this is not to discredit any of those other Hall of Famers, but it's just like, if you want the consummate professional to be the face of your organization, it's undoubtedly Walter Payton. Now, the position value and everything, that's a completely different, topic for another day. But if you want someone to be truly the face of your organization, you don't need to look no further than Sweetness. I mean, the guy was he was probably the best running back you will ever see in so many different conversations. That's the reason why he's listed for some people as the best running back in football. It is really hard for me to go against my second favorite running back of all time. And certainly one of my favorite human beings of all time.
I would personally have to say Jerry Rice. I met Jerry Rice at a celebrity golf tournament here in Southern California. You talk about the most humble, the most accommodating person. He had an entourage around him wanting to get his autograph or whatever. And he pushed them all aside and said, hey, he wants to get a picture taken with me. Back up, guys. I'm going to give him his space. He had his Super Bowl ring hanging. That freaking ring was like this mother freaking big. It was huge, hanging on his chain. And he just pushed everybody else aside. And Jerry Rice, he beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl. That's true. Badly.
Who did?
But Jerry Rice, how can you not say Jerry Rice? What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Go ahead.
But Jerry Rice is an amazing receiver, amazing human being, very courteous, very down to earth. Never expected that from him. I really didn't. But it was amazing just to meet him and get a picture with him. But yeah, I would say Jerry Rice.
Gage.
Pressure's on, Gage, as your video freezes.
Looks like he froze, yeah.
Yeah, he froze. All right, so I'm going.
But by the way,
what?
Oh, just by the way, I didn't get a chance to get my
Um,
Super Bowl real quick. Or go ahead.
Well, watch
Hang
this.
on,
go
Gage
for
is
it.
back.
Go ahead, Gage.
Go for your Super Bowl.
I have two. It is the Ravens and Eagles. Lamar Jackson versus Jalen Hurts.
Ooh.
And
Who's your
that's I will actually go with the Ravens on that one. And then the second one is obviously the popular one,
Titans Saints.
the Bills and Lions.
I'm sticking with mine.
Best player, I gotta say it's Jim Brown, man. He's like
Yes.
the best pure runner of the football that I've ever seen.
I figured he'd say that.
Yeah, it's got to be Jim Brown for me, dude. I've never seen a running back like him before, and no disrespect to any of those other guys. That's why it's such a tough call. But if I had to pick one, it's got to be Jim Brown.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. For me, it's Jim Brown. I mean, the dude did all of that playing from the fullback position, not the running back position. He has the size of he's bigger than NFL running backs today, except Derrick Henry because he's huge. But you put Jim Brown back there at running back nowadays. I mean, not at his current age or not age, but back then, dude, he's top 2 in the league every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going Jim Brown.
Nice.
All right. Anything else we did not cover?
No.
We didn't cover any of my topics for Friday's show.
That's
Now, why would we do that?
Friday, dude. We're guests on their show.
That's
Come
for
on.
Friday.
By the way, Broncos Buzz Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Is it 5, Mike, or are we switching to 6?
Okay, Bill's muted again. All right, so we want to thank everybody for joining us on the show tonight. It's great whenever you guys can jump into the chat and give us some conversations. Make sure you check out all the other shows on the MHRT Network. We have shows Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Neighborhood on game day. 5280s on Tuesday. You have Wild Wild West and mainly Broncos on Wednesday. You have Cluster Puck on Thursday, and you have something on Friday, and then you have the Neighborhood on game day. Also, make sure you check out Broncos Syndicate, hosted by Gage Madrid. Incredible
Broncos
show, incredible
Buzz
videos,
Friday.
incredible channel. So make sure you check that out. Again, we appreciate every single last one of you. It's always fun when you're here. We love Broncos. We love Broncos country. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down 'cause the